tayo. Sige, good day to all. This is our course for this day, Introduction to Industrial Security Concepts. So in the first video, I've given you already the course title, which is Industrial Security Concepts, and also the course description, which is provides the overview with the following: development of security industry, the theories, concepts, and principles of security, security organization. It also covers the management, administration, and operation of the private security agency. Moreover, the corporate and government security unit, qualifications, the trainings, the skills or competencies, development in industrial security, technology-led security operations, crime prevention, safety, investigation, and detective skills, crime scene preservation, and report writing. That is the description of this course as a whole. But the outline are the following: development of and evolution of the security, which is our main topic for this session, and theories, concepts, philosophies of security and safety, constitutional and statutory rights of the person affected or the subject by police or law enforcement operations. The police operations, the Bureau of Fire Protection operations, Philippine Coast Guard operations, and other operations of other law enforcement units. We'll be tackling also soon the crime mapping, historical development of crime mapping, the theories of crime, the place and environmental design, types of crime mapping and crime analysis. And then we talk, it includes the crime incidents, situationer, and the geographic information of crimes. And the mode of delivery is still flexible learning because of we will be using combinations of synchronous and asynchronous, and preferably the digital or the online. Now, I want to discuss the development and evolution of security. If we will understand how everything evolved, how everything started, we will easily be understand also the present day policies, situation, the programs of the security field. So let's begin with studying the development and evolution of security. The following will be discussed this session: introduction, evolution of quest for security, the ancient times, 5 ancient security system still used in use today, is still applicable today for us. The Middle Ages, 18th century, 19th century, mid 1800s in the United States, the pre-war and post-war in the local setting, temporary private security, challenges in private security, and the loss on private security, specifically here in our country, the Philippines. Let's see them. The development of security and evolution since the beginning of the recorded time, people sought security, safety, protection, freedom from fear and danger. Remember, everybody needs security. We want safety. We want to be freed and be protected from any fear and danger around us. It can be caused by man-made and even by natural disaster or things. But the essence of this is we want safety and security. That's why when say evolution, the gradual development of something, especially from a simple to more complex form. So security undergone evolution. Before, the ways, the method, the techniques, the policies are very simple, but it became complex nowadays as times goes by. Security, on the other hand, is the state or condition of being secured. It is also a freedom from fear, harm, danger, loss, destruction, or damage. So, may security lang tayo kapag yung condition mo ay secured ka at malaya ka or wala ka doon sa panganib, takot, pagkawala, pagkasira o ah, pagkawala ng buhay, ultimately. Pag meron kang security from them or secured ka mula sa mga bagay na yon, you have security. And to define also the private security, primarily engage in providing guard and patrol services such as bodyguard, guard dog, parking, security, and security or the security guard services. So, pag private ang iyong pangunahin na idea lang dyan, syempre hindi siya provided ng government. At the same time, ito ay pang sarili mo for your own safety and security. It can be a bodyguard na laging kasama mo or yung dog sa parking security or security guard service na nagpo-provide ng safety sa yung company, sa yung home, or sa yung workplace, kung saan man yan. Private security. Now, they have arms, weapon, and barriers around their dwelling for their protection. In that ancient period, ang pangunahin lang nilang kakayahan is maghanda sila, meron silang mga weapons, uh, mga bahay nila, they put barriers both for themselves and for their crops and for the animals that they have sa mga farms nila. Para ultimately yung dwelling place nila maging safety. Yung family nila, mapamuhay sila na merong privacy. Now, then people made rules and laws which they have tried to enforce individually as a group and through others. So katagalan, hindi na lang nila concern yung pangsariling safety and security nila. Dumating sa point na pati na yung kanilang yung batas, gumawa sila ng rules, regulations, laws para kanilang i-enforce para sa nila sarili, para sa grupo nila, hanggang sa para sa ibang tao na din para magkaroon ng common safety. And then, next to consider sa history nito, development is the early civilization. They relied upon rulers and their armies to govern and protect the people. Halimbawa, kung merong chieftain or kung merong tribe leader, kung sila may monarch man sila, kung may hari sila, kung sino man yung leader nila that time, kung ano yung kanilang batas to protect them, yun lang kanilang primary source of safety and security. Those early civilizations. At yung army nila, yung royal guards, kung yan man yan tawag dyan, o yung pangunahing mga security nung kanilang leader, siya na rin ang naggagovern, namamahala sa sakop ng kanilang area at nagpo-protect na rin sila ng kanilang mga constituent. Yun ang early civilizations na yan. And then, people of the Middle Ages, they tried loosely organized and experiment with evolving forms of public law. Yan na. No, dumating yung Middle Age, di lamang na sa mga tribe nila, pero they want na mag-experiment na sila, nag-organize sila ng mga public laws para to enforce and isolated instances of private security when public law enforcement was ineffective. So, kapag yung pinaprovide ng gobyerno ay hindi effective, hindi nagwo-work out, that's the time that yung mga private security ay kanila nang i-deploy or mag-hire sila na yung aasahan nila to provide for their safety and security. Private security evolved now from human desire for additional individual protection for themselves and their property. When the people during those Middle Age ay naramdaman nilang hindi sufficient yung kayang i-provide ng ruler nila, kayang provide ng kanilang government that time, civilization nila, they now add yung kanilang private security para yung kanilang individual protection, maging property and businesses nila ay magkaroon sila ng peace of mind, additional na pang-secured sa kanila. So, nagsisimula ng ma-appreciate ngayon yung private security. Now, the evolution of quest for security. The next subtopic dito. Here under are the four spaces of or in the evolution of quest for security. Yung apat na quest o phases ng evolution of security are still being used today. Let's see them. Number one, the individual or small community. They grouped or they came together in search for collective security to ease food finding and to satisfy other mutually felt individual need. So the main or the bottom line here, they want collective security. They are searching for that. Yung, sila ay mag-gather, mga small community, mga tao, bubuo sila ng grupo nila para meron silang collective security. They will satisfy one another's need. They will be protecting one another collectively. Yan na, kaya nagbubuo na yung mga communities dito. The second part here is individual or small community groups discovered the need for rules of law. Now, dahil nagka-grupo na sila, syempre iba't ibang tao na yan, iba't ibang ugali, iba't ibang orientation, iba't ibang desires. What happened was, they now discovered that they need rules para sila makapag-dwell together in unity and in peace. Historically, people believed that passing good laws was sufficient. The ruler's army could enforce them. So, if they first discovered the need for collective security, they now discovered their need for rules of laws. Bakit? Para sila makapag-dwell together, sabi ko nga kanina, because ang paniniwala nila nung una, sapat na merong good laws, tapos kayang i-enforce ng mga rulers army, rulers guards, yung mga laws na ini-enforce dito. Until number 3 dumating. Ano to? Individual or small community members would not obey the rules. Even the law man can devise are useless, sabi nila. So, kahit na may batas na sila, that they thought kayang i-enforce ng mga rulers army, nakita nila na meron pa rin mga individual that would not obey the rules. Even the law man can devise are useless, sabi nila, kahit may batas, wala pa rin itong kwenta. Bakit? And rulers and governments are powerless if the law are not obeyed. So, nakita nila, some people would not obey the laws. Kahit saan ito, kahit saang bansa, saang community, saang tribe, kahit may batas, kung hindi susundan, wala itong magiging effect for people to dwell together in unity and in harmony. That's why number 4, the individual or small community group in one form or another means. Bakit? To compel the observance of the rules. Compel, pilitin, igiit. Para sa gayon, that were found and established na. Sometimes they work, but frequently they did not, sabi nila. Consequently, more communities have perished because they could not enforce their laws that have been destroyed by natural disaster or hostile aggression. Now, the means to compel observance of rules was found. So, dito nakita nila, the community, dapat ipagpilitan mo yung pagsunod sa batas, pero ang mga batas na ito na in-enforce nila ay pwedeng masira ng natural or kahit ng mga man-made na mga hostile aggressions. Because of that, makita rin natin yung iba't ibang mga efforts on how it was evolved. Paano to? Ancient time tayo. Yung mga lake dwellings o yung mga nakatira sa mga lawa, sa mga tubig, was one popular means of achieving security. Access to the lake dwellings was controlled by drawbridges and boats. Yan. Siyempre, kung yung community mo ay nasa tubig kayo, hindi basta-basta kayo pwedeng puntahan or pasukan. Sapagkat kinakailangan mo muna ng mga tulay or ng mga bangka para makapunta ka sa kanilang lugar. And because of that, prehistoric Americans naman, Because of their unfriendly tribes, they built their home on high cliffs so that using a ladder, they can pull up so that their dwelling is impregnable or unable to be captured. So, doon sa mataas sa mga cliffs sila, gagawa sila ng bahay nila doon, gagawa sila para mga cave, tapos pagbababa sila, may hagdan silang binababa. Tapos pagkagabi or pagka andun na sila sa bahay nila, pinupul nila yung ladders na yon para hindi sila kayang atakihin basta-basta, panikin or sakupin or saktan. That is one way of the prehistoric Americans did para sa kanilang safety and security. Ang pinaka well-known pa na likha ay ang Great Wall of China. Imagine na, Qin, Qin Shi Huang protect his newly founded Qin dynasty 221 to 206 BC against incursions by nomads from Inner Asia. Ang haba nito, kaya mo daw mag-stretch ng road from Mexico to New York. Ganong katindi yan. I believe kung di ako nagkakamali, inabot ng 15 years. At I think kung di nagkakamali yung pagkakaalala ko dito, mga 500,000 people ang kinailangan gumawa ng Great Wall of China. Now, another thing here is the Rome during their time. Di ba? Roman Empire, mananakop. Also emphasize the physical security in form of broad, straight roads patrolled by legions and bridges controlled by iron gates and guards. Now, di ba uso yung mga territories dati, mga walls, mga tarangkahan, mga big gates. Ang Rome, ang common na ginagawa, di ba merong kasabihan na all roads leads to Rome. Kasi nga siya yung center dati ng empire niya during ng kalakasan niya. So, ang ginawa niya, malalapad at mga tuwid na mga daan at binabantayan ng mga legions, mga armies nila. Nasa gayon, mga bridges controlled din niya, may mga iron gates sila at may mga gwardiya pa. Ganong katindi yung kanilang security during those time. And not just the Rome, but they have also the 5 ancient security system that we still use today. Ginamit nila noon until today applicable, ginagamit pa rin natin. Number 1 is the watchtowers. Ayun yung sa picture natin. Common yan sa mga taas na mga bakod, meron pang mga parang guardhouse, mga tower, para meron clear view sa paligid mo. Are very likely the precursors of our current use of cameras that allow security-minded individuals to keep an eye on any encroachers from a safe remote location. So, yan ang unang principle na ginamit na tao ang nagbabantay. But today, same principle with the CCTV, para namamatyagan mo yung paligid mo, meron kang eyes, kumbaga, para yung location, yung business, yung premise mo, yung bahay mo, ay mamatyagan mo, mabantayan. Next is walls are common before and still common today. Walls were used on small scales throughout the ancient world to keep out unwanted visitors. Or more likely, folks with pillaging and burning on their minds. No? Noon pa man, dati ang binabakuran nila hindi lang mga bahay, kundi mga cities, mga boundaries, mga sakop ng empire, ng kingdom, at ng territory. Today, ginagamit pa rin yan, both yung mga houses, yung mga schools, mga government buildings, and etc. Next is gates. The prevalent use of walls, it was necessary to create a means for people to come and go when needed. No? So, ang mga gates ang ginagamit para pagka madaling kontrolin ang lugar. Pag ayaw magpalabas, ayaw magpasok, isara mo lang. No? So, they created that means para ang tao makapagpunta at makaalis. Prevalent. After ng walls, may mga gates sila. Next, also the moats. Moats were a viciously ingenious security tactics that deter invaders on multiple levels. First of all, the moats were usually used in combination with a wall. So, yung mga moats, ito yung alam mo yung lugar mo, paliligiran mo ng tubig. Tapos, usually, pinaka-boundary pa, may mga walls ka pang matataas. Okay? Ginagamit yan. Kahit ang, yung picture ng Malacanang, di ba? At marami pang gumagamit until today. Iba naman, yung natural, yung mga islands talaga. Weapons. Still used today, before ginagamit niyan, hindi nga lang sing sophisticated today. But however, the use of weapons to knock back attackers is as old as the first time a man balled his hand into a fist and thrust at it at his enemy. Today, fists are augmented by security measures like pepper spray, and instead of spears, red-blooded Americans are more likely to consider a gun for home protection, but the use of weapon has and will likely always be a fundamental piece of staying safe and security. No? Dati, ginagamit nila, yan, mano-mano, suntukan lang, kamay. Until ma-discover yung mga sibat, pana, mga bato, hanggang sa ma-invento ang baril. But still, ancient types of security system, weapon as one, and it is still used today. Now, we are done with those eras or time of the history. Now, let's see the Middle Ages. We have what we call feudalism that time. Feudalism, it was a way of structuring society around relationship derived from the holding of land in exchange for service or labor. No? So, usually, ang hari dyan, tapos may mga tenants-in-chief na mamahala. Tapos mga knights or mga lords at yung mga peasants, mga trabahador na nila. No? Yan ang pinaka-structure niyan. So, society's structure yan. Para, alam mo yun, kapalit ng mga lupa, ay merong service or labor na magaganap. Pamumuno ng isang hari. The lowest workers or the serfs laboring for a nobleman. That is what happened in the Middle Ages. Anglo-Saxon, the people who invaded or inhabited Great Britain. Yan ang kanilang that Middle Age. And then, group of 10 families yan. Sa PNP history, nakalagay yan. Sa Leia, pinag-uusapan talaga yan. So, there are group of 10 families, no? Magsasama-sama sila. 10. Kaya nga, tithings. Or the tithing or theotings, tawag dyan. Responsible sila for maintaining local law and orders. Yan. Paano to? Magkakaroon din ng, before, nagkaroon ng frank pledge system. Frank pledge systems was also known as the peace pledge. All free Englishmen swear to maintain the peace. So, di ba before meron mga slave, but the free men during that time, mga hindi slave, they pledge for peace na silang lahat, i-maintain nila yung peace and order sa kanilang lugar. Now we move to the kings. Let's have first King John. King John, one of the more controversial monarchs of medieval England. Bakit? And is most associated with the signing of the Magna Carta in 1215. Magna Carta, the Great Charter. Siya ang pinaka-controversial monarch that time. At siya ang nag-sign ng Magna Carta. King John. Itong sa picture na left side sa screen nyo. King Edward on the right issued the Statute of Westminster. It is the statute na or law that was formalized in England about the practices ng criminal justice and apprehension. Yan. Because of that Westminster Statute, nagkaroon na ng justice system sa England at meron ng mga pag-arestong nagaganap. We also have the watchmen. Diyan din nagaling yung mga history ng pagpapatrol, ng pagbabantay ng mga paggabi hanggang sa bukang liwayway. We're patrolling even during the night so that they can supplement the traditional duties and of the constable. A police officer with limited policing system during the day. And then they were assigned at every gate of the walled town. Just like the security guards nowadays, they are mostly seen guarding the entrance of mall or male or established or more establishment. So, sila yung mga watchmen before, binabantay nila yung buong city nila, yung mga nakabakod. Gabi, sila yung nagbabantay sa mga entrance exit. At the same time, pag araw naman, may mga limited silang mga ginagampanan sa kanilang policing system. 18th century tayo. Ito, medyo pa modernized na pampaunti-unti. In this period, these are the extensive social and economic changes wherein cottage industry were transformed into large factories that is located in the city. Political extremism and riots occurs often, and policy was encouraged those who abide law and to discourage those who are not by giving heavy punishment. Now, di ba palago na yung mga businesses? Yung dating maliliit lang na mga business, nag-transform na sa mga factories. At dinala sila sa mga cities, sa mga malalagong lugar, maraming tao na nagkakatipon. Both para sa production at para na rin sa pag-dispose para sa consumers. Now, dahil doon, nagkakaroon ng mga political extremists, dumami yung mga riots, yung mga kaguluhan, mga social disturbances. At dahil doon, magkaroon ng mga policy, mga laws, mga rules, para i-encourage mo yung mga sumusunod sa batas and also to discourage yung mga lumalabag by giving heavy punishment. Parang meron na rin siyang touch ng deterrence dito. May pagka-classical. Next to note is the 19th century in England. Ito na yung mga, sinasabi natin mga pa-modernize na yung mga men in uniform or yung mga law enforcers so-called. Own police force was established na. Yan, sa England. This period, because there is insufficient number of policemen in England. So private establishment decided to build out or produce their own police enforcement. So dahil may mga police force that time, kaso ang pakiramdam ng mga tao hindi pa sapat yung mga police force nila, kaya nga sila nag-decide sila na they produce their own police enforcement. At nabuo dito in England also the well-known Bow Street Runners. Yan. Mid ng 1800 sa USA naman, their way of maintaining a peace is kind of unusual because instead of having policemen, they have agents and spies. Yan. Imbis na magkaroon ng police noong 1800 sa USA, ay agents and spies ang kanilang hina-hire to maintain their peace. That's why nagkaroon ng Pinkerton, a sheriff before but became a special agent. And soon, because back then, gangs existed and because of minerals such as illegal mining and gold massive of illegal miners existed. So para ma-address yung problema nila sa mga miners, mga illegal minings, ang ginawa nila, they hired yung mga special agents na naging spies. At sila yan, si Pinkerton was one. Now, let's go, pamunta tayo sa local. From the world setting ancient, pati sa mga well-known na mga bansa, patungo tayo sa Philippines. Pre-war, bago pa magkaroon ng local war in local setting Philippines. The private security business in local setting began in March 1943, bago pa magkaroon ng World War. Later, it was known, yung security group na yon o agency na yon, naging Jimenez Security Agency. So yan, nakatatak ang Jimenez sa bansang Pilipinas. After the restoration naman of the civil authority ng 1945, nagkaroon na ng civil authority, nagkaroon na ng pamahalaan ulit na functioning. Trade and commerce nagpatuloy. Yan, kalakalan, mga business, they continued. Residents in the urban centers tried adopting new lifestyle, security, safeguard, and protection. Yan. Dahil nagpatuloy yung mga businesses, mga naninirahan sa mga urban, ay they tried na may panibagong lifestyle sila and they sought for security, safeguard, and protection ng kanilang sarili, bahay, at mga properties nila. Personal value replaced traditional trust and confidence among neighbors. Yan. Dati kasi, sila nag-aasahan sila. Dito hindi na. We also have Bombay Serene. One who acted as the security guard. Ayan, mga porter, the messenger, to a variety of firms and employment. No other responsibilities other than a watchman. Mga Bombay Serene that time. And crops of crime became more sophisticated by science and technology, new tools and weapons, resorting to force, terrorism, and violence. That is how it was evolved, nag-turn. Lumalago ang kaalaman, lumalago ang teknolohiya, lumalago din ang kakayahan na gumawa ng krimen ng mga tao. And then the Philippine Congress enacted Republic Act number 5487. Ito i-memorize ito, lumalabas sa board exam to. Republic Act 5487. Please remember this law. It is known as the Private Security Law. Set standard and minimum requirements for the operation ng mga private security agencies in the Philippines. 5487. Contemporary private security. Yan. Before, under direct control and supervision yan ng mga municipal and city mayors. Anyone could be employed and posted as security guards without proper handling and training. Guards were undisciplined and arrogant that time. Dati, may kakayahan si mayor, may control siya, o bukas, guard ka na, police ka na. Parang ganon. Kahit na walang kakayahan, walang training, walang knowledge. Kaya nga, yung mga guards that time, naging abusado. Walang disiplina, mayayabang sila. Kasi nga, may authority sila, kahit hindi naman qualified. But today, the private security agency, in general, appears to be operating profitably enough, giving employment opportunities and a contribution to the Philippine economy and rendering a higher service of product within the limits provided by the existing laws, decrees, and implementing rules and regulation. Pero today, unlike before, undisciplined, arrogant, unqualified sila, hindi qualified, disqualified. Pero today, they are highly trained at kapaki-pakinabang na yung mga agency. Bakit? Na mayroong kinukuhang employment, nagpo-produce ng employment, they help the economy by their taxes, and also, alam mo yun, nakakatulong din sila as force multiplier ng ating bansa. Philippines have problems unique its own. Paano to? Is the law and order concern? However, the government could easily assign the private security sector as its strategic partner because the security guards are potential assets to help peace and order in the Philippines, in the community. Ang PNP ang may overall din na pamamahala sa mga security guards. Mga permits nila, PNP nagbibigay dyan. At the same time, they are also force multiplier. Kaya kahit paano, malaking bagay din ang mga security guards sa ating bansa. Challenge in private security professionally, what are the challenges in the private security? One problem na nakita is about professionalism. Professionalism. The caliber of a profession or of a person entering private security with long-term commitment to grow dapat. Yan. Kung gusto mong mag-grow talaga, you must have the commitment. The industry continues to improve. It evolves. Dynamic din yan. Encouraged by improving pay scales, di ba? Pampahay moral talaga yung sahod. Habang lumalaki yung sahod, ay nag-encourage din yan na mag-improve o lumago ang ating field na ginagalawan na ito. It also offers the opportunity for upward mobility for qualified persons. Okay. Hindi lang professionalism ang challenge sa private security, kundi yung training din, syempre. Because training is the key to challenge, no? It is a key. Certified Security Professional, mga CSP. Isa yan sa naging training ko under a reputable organization in the Philippines. Philippine Association of Detectives and Protective Agency Operations Incorporations or the PADPAO na tinatawag natin. They provide trainings for security. Yan. The legal status also is a challenge in the security sector. Private security personnel have no police power, syempre. They cannot usurp. Quasi-law enforcement in nature and they interact. Yan. Quasi para mga semi, parang ganon. Semi-law enforcement sila in nature and confront their fellow citizen in adversarial situation. Isa yan. Ano yung parang, parang kalaban, parang iba yung dating, parang ganun yung approach pagko-confront nila sa mga kapwa citizen. That is a challenge in our legal status portion dito. The image also, public perception in private security rapidly outgrow the rent-a-cop or floor walker image. Yan. Improving both relationship between perception sa mga citizen, gumaganda ng image, at dapat continually pagandahin. Similar with the image of public policing affects the spirit de corps or the spirit in unity, the moral and welfare of the members. Siyempre, pagka maganda tingin sa kanila, nagpapataas ng moral din yan ng mga security professionals or officers. Now, let's look in the laws on private security in the Philippines. As I said kanina, meron tayong RA 5487. This is the private security law ng Pilipinas. Enacted June 13, 1969. Imagine that. Provided qualification for security operators and guards. Nandiyan sa batas na yan. We also have Presidential Decree number 11, PD 11, amending certain sections ng RA 5487, October 3, 1972. We also have PD 100, amending further section ng 5487, dated 17 of day of January 1973. PD 1919, it further amend 5487, dated April 28, 1984. Significance of the security industry in the local setting, implementing rules and regulations, seen some revision of also in that time. Now, they perform in fulfilling their responsibilities. Private security offers are more often linked to criminal and civil lawsuits. Yan ang magiging problema. Restriction on private security officers came from this law, mga pinagbabawal. Okay, so far, dun muna tayo. At least we have tackled many things today. Hope kahit paano ay you learn something about the development of the evolution of the security. Kasi mahalaga, we will appreciate ang kabuuan ng ating topic, kabuuan ng ating course, the introduction to industrial security concepts, pag alam mo yung nakaraan. To end, I was asked before, what is the importance of studying the history? Ang nakikita ko lang palagi dyan, it is important for us to study history because pag alam mong nakaraan, may intindihan mo ang kasalukuyan at napaghahandaan mo ang hinaharap. So we understand the present because we know what happened before. And because we know what happened before and we know what is the situation today, we can at least be prepared in facing the future. We can be dynamic also. We can be a catalyst for change. So far, we tackled these topics with the main topic natin na evolution and development of security. Thank you very much. Jesus saves, and to God be the glory.